What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis video. Okay, guys, two things I want to talk about today. Number one, summons. Just gonna do some summons, plain and simple. Let's see if my luck is still there. I am getting prepared. I've got about 25k blue crystals that I've amassed over the month, I guess. And we have a brand new banner coming out, obviously, with Zack and Sephiroth next week, or close to next week. I think we're actually getting closer and closer to that. And I'm very excited because this is going to be either me polling for them or me polling for Cloud and Glenn. So somebody will definitely get summoned on a banner of some sort. I'm just still waiting patiently. Now, this is becoming harder and harder for me to do because the more I see these weapons in action, obviously the more I want them. One thing I do want to point out, of course, to you guys is the fact that these weapons don't need to be duped for free to play. Just so you guys are aware, they are really, really good as 5 stars as it is because of the buff that we get, even as sub weapons, because you get that extra bonus, obviously, attack from there. And with that being said, if they do make Sephiroth and Zack magic, I don't know who I'm going to pull for. And I'll be quite honest, the reason why I'm going to struggle with that whole concept, damn it, no B chocobos, is because magic is so far behind in regards to overall usefulness, right? Like everything that's been coming out that's been pretty much OP has been physical. So it's really hard to justify pulling for Zack and Sephiroth if they're going to be magic, although it's a step in the right direction because magic does definitely need some love. I feel like it's just a little bit far behind, especially for free to play when we have to pick and choose with our currencies what we want. But what I want to see, of course, is their elements. That's really what's going to dictate what I'm pulling for at the end of the day, whether it's magic or not. Of course, magic has a place in this game for me as well. I have a lot of good magic weapons and fairly decent, especially for Sephiroth, Arcanum outfits. But again, it just doesn't do the same justice as the physical attack, as physical's been all over the place non-stop, right? So with that being said, a couple things I want to discuss. Number one, the wish list. So I know C just came out with their own version of the game. Congratulations, guys. I've been getting a lot of people asking me for beginner's guides and stuff. I do want to point out that my beginner's guide that I made, and I actually renamed it for Steam and C players, is still absolutely valid. Everything on there is still relevant to today. Nothing really has changed except for the exception of the new R ability, which is the P attack for the whole party. That is brand new. That was not introduced back when I made that guide, but I think I've talked about it enough here where it will solidify and justify not having to make a brand new guide for you guys, especially beginner's guide. Now I can, of course, if required, but I feel like it's just gonna be repetitive information over and over again, so I might hold off on that and see how the rest of you guys feel. Amazing, glad that happened right there, and we'll go from there. Now, as for the wish list though, that has changed, okay, and I will definitely do an updated wish list guide for you guys right now in terms of what you should be aiming for. Now, keep in mind, as a brand new player, there's a lot more for you to choose from now and a lot more for you to go for. But I don't think the premise of a beginner's wish list has changed a lot. Oh my god, another enemy launcher. I'm getting these like hotcakes. It's crazy. And the reason why I say that is you still want to have debuffing, you still want to have healing, and you still want to have buffing abilities before you jump onto the heavy duty stuff. But we're still going to cover all of it. Okay, so I'll kind of do a full-on video for this. What did I just get? What did I just get? Oh my god, really? Enhanced sword? Something I don't need. It's my first 5-star though for it. Let's see what this is the ice damage, right? Yeah, it's ice damage. I've never had that 5-star. There's a couple weapons still that I haven't had, right? So let's just get this out of the way. And then we're gonna jump into the wish list and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Okay, I'll go through each character as usual. It's an updated wish list, and I think it's important to kind of go through because a lot has changed since the last one I did, which was when Steam came out. And I think I hate that more than anything. I think it's worthwhile definitely revisiting right now, especially with some of the newer weapons that are out, right? So, okay, so we got a few 10s, obviously. Oh, we got a 20 there. Nothing good, nothing crazy. Motor drive was nice. 167. I could technically push that to OB5. I need an OB6 version of that. That'd be crazy. Okay, so there's that, and we have one more summon here. So far, not great. I mean, we got 1 5-star. Two 5-stars, technically. The 5-star guarantee, I'm not even counting that. Let's see what we get here. More Same outfit, which, by the way, oh yeah, there we go, might actually be coming back. So they may be doing reruns for outfits. Keep that in mind, guys. It's not happening as of right now, but apparently there's some form of news unofficial news that we may be seeing reruns of these costumes. I think it's unofficial. Maybe it's official. I'm not even 100% sure. But I have seen it somewhere that they may be rerunning old costumes. So get prepared for that, guys. For those like myself who missed out on the Murasame outfit, something I definitely want, because obviously Ramu being powered up, the Murasame sword itself being powered up, even though it is a first generation sword, is still very powerful because of the animation speed and the fact that it's thunder, right? So keep that in mind as well. There's going to be things like that happening as well. Oh my god. Let's go. Enemy launcher? This is nuts. All right, all right. Motor drive? Ah, Kaiser Knuckles. Damn it. Killer. Yo, this is a really good pull. See what we get for Cloud. If it's a Sky Splitter for Cloud, this might be almost a perfect pull minus the Kaiser gloves or Knuckles. Apocalypse. Hey, you know what? Apocalypse is great for wind. That's great for wind. I'll take it. I'll take that. That was an incredibly good pull. But not gonna lie, there you guys have it. 4 really pretty damn good weapons. Okay, so there's the summoning part. Now let's go through the wish list. I want to talk a little bit about this because I think it's important to understand what you should be going for. So obviously the wish list is not going to have any limited weapons. Keep that in mind. But I do want to go over each characters and kind of talk about what you should be aiming for. So brand new players. We're going to start off with Cloud and move our way down, okay? So brand new players, you want to do a couple different things here, okay? So first off, Hard Edge is great because it does do physical defense down. So for anyone who's looking for a debuffing weapon for Cloud, this is probably his best debuffing weapon, let's be real, okay? So Hard Edge is a good one to start with. Murasame is still really powerful, even though it is a first generation sword. I'm going to call it first generation, and what that means essentially is the damage you see here from the initial is not as high for a newer generation, so 400% versus 480%, right? But Murasame does something no other sword does, and that is have the fastest animation skills, and you will be like rocking enemies even with that lower percentage. So Murasame is still very coveted amongst the weapons for Cloud, okay? Another one that's really powerful, of course, is the Sky Splitter, which is the equivalent version in the fire element instead. Has really good P attack and has fire potency as well too. So very powerful, and is the newer generation of swords for Cloud and highly sought after for an elemental weapon. But keep in mind, all of these are more powered up as soon as you can get the costumes. If you don't have the costumes, they're still wanted weapons. They're just not quite as coveted, obviously. And then Maritime Sword still plays a pretty pivotal role in any fights. It is considered a first generation sword again, but it is water. It's rare because water is not a common element for strong weapons, at least. This is one of the stronger water weapons out there. So you're looking at all 3 elements here that are very important. Believe it or not, the Hard Edge is really good, but so is the Bandage Sword. This is going to become a very critical one for your succession in Bahamut and the dual summon fight with Ifrit. So if you're looking to tackle, and even Shiva to be honest, so anything with a magic attack element, this sword actually plays a critical role in beating it out. So if you're looking to make Cloud a buffing unit or debuffing unit, you want to go with Bandage Sword and Hard Edge. If you want to make him a healer, also you have the option, of course, of giving him the healing weapon, which is, I believe, this one right here. Which is the Crystal Sword, and believe it or not, he's a really good healer. So you guys can go 3 ways with him, right? You can go debuffing, 1 here. Buffer, you can also go right here with physical defense increase for a single ally, which is not very recommended personally, but so you can go debuffer, healer, or buffer. So those 3 options. And I honestly recommend as a new player, you consider at least, for the very least, go Bandage Sword if you can, or add it to the wish list early and get at least a couple copies of it, or at least a copy of it. And then for damage straight up, I think the Murasame is still the best sword for him because of the animation speed. Next up, of course, is going to be the Sky Splitter. And then lastly is going to be the Maritime Sword. So those ones are really good. As for sub-weapons, to be quite frank, those are all very good options for him anyways, the ones I just mentioned, from the physical perspective. So Sky Splitter is probably the best one. And then the Apocalypse is not a bad option as well because it boosts attack and wind potency. So this is a very good weapon as a sub weapon for anyone who's wind potency related, which is great for this specific event, right? So good options right there. Let's move over to Barrett. Barrett has only very limited options, so this can be very quick. The Heavy Hauser, very good as a sub weapon or main weapon, boost attack, boost ability potency, very good damage for a weapon. Really slow animation, unfortunately, but still nonetheless something you definitely want to put on your list. For brand new players, there's 2 really good options for him. him, you want to make him a debuffer, then the first one is going to be the Solid Bazooka, which actually reduce M attack, which is crazy because most of the summon fights, for example, a lot of bosses are M attack bosses. This is a critical one. It also boosts HP and crit potency. Crit potency is not a big deal. The HP is. If you want to make him a further debuffer to help you do more damage, the W weapon here can reduce physical defense as well too. So very good. It can go up to high, and again has physical attack and lightning resist, which is good for Ramuh fight, and the physical attack is great obviously to help you do more damage with Barret, who is a physical attack user for the most part. And then also this is one of his better weapons here, but if you only are looking to be a buffer, I wouldn't recommend it as a brand new weapon because you really don't need this. It's just to increase M attack, but it also has the cure all potency for any cure spells. But again, I don't recommend this to be, I know some of you guys were going to want to go for this. I don't recommend it to be a beginner weapon. This is more of an intermediate. Barrett's already where he needs to be, that kind of guy, okay? So another really incredible weapon for him is going to be his enemy launcher. This is one of the best sub weapons in the game. Also a great weapon for him for AoE damage, but realistically it's just good for sub weapons for the most part. But this can apply to all physical builds and is one of the more coveted ones that you want to get. And then lastly, one that's a little more niche, and that's the assault gun right over here. And the reason why this is important is the agitation skill here. It gives physical defense to all allies with a little bit of a heal, but this is important for like B70 and any heavy hitting physical damage dealing AoE fights. Okay, so this is one that you can put on your wish list early on and get a copy of it, but you don't see the full potency until you get to, at the very minimum, OB6. But if you cast this twice, you still can go to high, so it's still pretty damn good. This is actually a pretty good weapon too, the flame projector, but this is an advanced weapon. It does boost M attack and fire potency, so very, very good for that in that regard, and actually does fairly decent in terms of damage itself as an AoE damage dealing move, but you don't usually use it as that. It is a sub weapon, okay? So realistically, Barrett's best ones, guys, are Heavy Hauser, enemy launcher, for the two best sub weapons. For debuffing, it's these two, W weapon and magic attack down with Solid Bazooka. Buffing, it's the assault gun. This micro laser, don't ignore that for now. And then for magic attack, it's going to be the flame projector. But ideally, these two here are your big ones, with assault gun as being a huge one there as well. And early on for fights, the Solid Bazooka is solid, no pun intended, solid for getting things done, okay? Tifa. A lot of options. Queen of DPS, queen of debuffing, you name it. She can heal, she can do it all. Probably one of the best characters in the game. So early on, two things you want to do realistically. You can use her as a debuffer. She's the best debuffer in the game. So you want to go for Tiger Fangs. This hasn't changed, to reduce M attack, which is incredible. And then also leather gloves here, which can reduce physical attack. So putting these two on her instantly gives you the full package of debuffing, because with her somersault, which happens very often, she can then reduce physical defense, magic defense, and then with these two she can reduce magic attack and physical attack. So you have the full package in one unit to do all of your debuffing. So then you can focus on everyone else being a healer or a DPS, obviously, right? So incredible. These two I highly recommend putting on your list right away. If you want to make her a healer, she does have really good healing abilities, but it is lower in scale, but also costs one less ATB. So you'll heal more often with lower numbers, but very, very good option as well too with the lifeguard wraps here. So again, debuffer, healer, options are available, okay? Now, if you want to make her full-on DPS, the best two options you have here are the Freezing Blow or the Holy Flame Gloves, which is her ice element. This is a second-tier generation, and then her first-tier generation is going to be this one here, the Motor Drive, which has incredibly high physical attack and wind boost, and also is the fastest animation, one of the fastest animations for her in this game, period, and is coveted wind, which not a lot of people have. Okay, so those two are your best DPS gloves outside of obviously the limited edition gloves. And then if you want to go magic, you can do the Power Soul, which is great for magic and also gives you the magic ability potency. I suggest building her non-magic, guys. She's better physical. And then lastly, if you want to go non-elemental damage, you can go with the Sonic Strikers. But I would hold off on that because she's had a lot of non-elemental limited edition weapons. A new one might come out eventually. So I would recommend going debuffer for her, guys, in the beginning. Healer if you really want to use her as a healer. And then two DPS options are right here. Those are probably her best ones. And again, this is just my opinion on this, right? Okay, Aerith. Fairly straightforward. Aerith is jack of all trades for magic, okay? She can heal, she can DPS, she can debuff. So big thing for her, obviously, is getting the Fairy Tail. This is your number one goal for her. Get that and you're pretty much set. The second one you want to actually go for, if you can, is the Sun Umbrella, because then it makes her a debuffer as well. So she can do physical defense down and magic defense down. This one requires a little bit more love to get to full potential, which is at least OB6 to make it mid right away. But if you cast it twice, you can still get to mid either way. And it does have two of the best magic our abilities, which is magic attack increase and magic ability potency increase. Okay, but that and the fairy tale are the most important ones, because fairy tale here obviously is your best healing stick that she has there. Now, two really good options for DPS, of course, are going to be Snowflake here. Snowflake actually reduces magic defense and does ice damage. Very good also for magic attack and boosting ice, has very high potency, and also gives you the all cure spell if you ever want to do your backup healing with Aerith on just a materia instead, right? And then another really good one is the Prism Rod here, which is your wind magic, which is good for this current event. Boost HP, boost wind potency, and of course gives you a little bit of a heal boost here if you have materia, magic attack, and then sigil boost. So not a bad weapon overall. Her newest weapon, though, this is one of the best debuffs out there because it's the only wind debuff weapon right now. So it does reduce physical defense and also reduces wind resistance up to mid early on, and then you can go up to high if you get it high enough. Also has boost attack and wind potency, and then you can see physical attack, wind boost, which means you put materia on there, and it has the all cure spell. So total package debuffing weapon, incredible weapon here to have. So and then there's a couple other really good options like guard stick here. It's not guard, sorry, that's not guard stick, there's guard stick. Has some of the highest healing R abilities, but something you really don't want to focus on right away because it's single ally heal. This is something you'll want to pull later on, so not right away. So your main weapons really are going to be Fairy Tale, Sun Umbrella, Prism, Snowflake. You can go for the floral one as well too now. And options, another decent like magic attack option is the Wiser Staff, which is lightning damage, but don't go for that early on. Focus on that later. And then lastly, you can go for the Mithril Rod, which gives you saving grace. It does cost a lot at 5 ATB, but it does increase magic defense and physical defense low up to mid for all allies. Okay, so a couple of good options for her, but I think the two most important ones are going to be Sun Umbrella still and the Fairy Tale. All right, moving on to Red 13. Here's the thing with Red 13. He unfortunately is a little lackluster still. You can get Seaside Collar, which will give you the physical thunder, gives you thunder resist down, which is kind of nice to have, obviously. But you can see here, he's not doing what everyone else does nowadays, which is also reduce physical defense, right? So it's a little bit outdated, but it's one of his best options for debuffing. His best option in general for his kit is going to be, one sec here, where is it? Platinum Collar. He's actually got one of the best healing outputs in the game with regen, and this here was really good. So if you want to use Red 13 as a debuffer and healer, you definitely want to go for the Platinum Collar and get yourself the Seaside Collar as well too. A couple good options here for damage in general. There's the Rage Collar here, which has pretty decent physical fire damage, boost attack and boost fire potency for him, and you can see attack boost all the way down the board, which is really good. And his newest weapon here, which is called the, not Junk Collar, sorry, one sec here, where's the Canyon? Oh, it's up there, sorry. It's up here. It's because it's new. The Canyon Collar will probably be one of his better ones as well too, because it does do AoE wind damage, but also reduces magic defense if his HP is 50% or more, and has boost magic attack and boost wind potency. So you guys can see here, not very good options for him, but he does have enough if you want to use him to be useful as a healer, debuffer, somewhat of a DPS in certain regards. Okay, Zach. Zach has got a lot more options nowadays. So Black Wisp. So for Zach personally, you would want to go for two major ones right now. So Twinkling Star, which is going to be his best debuffing weapon, I'd say right now. It does 480% physical damage at the highest level, reduces magic attack and also physical defense if you have 50% or more, and both of them are mid to high. So very good there. Boost HP and boost physical ability potency. So Twinkling Star is a really good weapon to have, no matter what build or costume you have with him. Black Whisker is another really good one, as it is the only water weapon down. Water elemental down, and also does physical defense decrease as well too. So very good option here for him as well if you're a big Zac fan. And then of course his newest weapon, which is the ceremonial sword, when that actually gets added, you definitely want to go for that. That's going to be his most powerful weapon. Those three I'd say are his best options at the moment. He has a couple other ones that are not bad, but nothing really spectacular on Zac's end. Until the newest banner comes out, we'll see what that is. Okay, but that is of course limited. Okay, now for Glenn, his best option is Ultimatic. Okay, Ultimatic is one of the best physical DPS weapons in the game. Does boost attack and boost physical ability potency. Also has really good support materia, and overall is just a nut job of a damage dealing weapon. So very good for that. Now if you want to make him a buffer as well, you can add Lamppost to it as well too if you're a big Zac fan, giving one ally physical attack up. Now this is a little bit lackluster in comparison to what it was before, but still has really good options and good R abilities, even though they are a little bit low. So those two are your best options right now if you're not going for the limited weapons, which you should be, by the way, if you are a Zac fan, or not Zac fan, sorry, Glenn fan, so you should definitely be going for that. He has a couple other good options here. For example, Shockbuster here, which is really good. It does do lightning damage, but it's mostly used for a sub weapon for someone like Cloud, right? So if you want to main Zac, I keep saying Zac, Glenn, it's not a good option for him, but it's a great sub weapon. Now, other things you can do, of course, is you can do this, for example, which is similar to Barrett's Agitation. So Hardcore Squad does physical defense up for all allies. There's a little bit of a heal, also gives the same options of boost heal and boost crit potency for our abilities, and then has magic attack across the board to help you boost a little bit of your damage through materia, right? So those are really decent options. He has a debuffing option here as well too, which can reduce physical defense down with Piece of Cake, and then he has some elemental options that not many people have, for example earth damage here with M attack and boost earth potency. So a couple good options with Glenn. His best ones though are in fact still these two in my opinion. Unless you were going to make him a buffer, then you use Hardcore Squad instead of the lamppost. Okay, so again, his newest banner though, this one here, that's what you want to be going for if you are doing anything related to him. Matt's a very, very good unit. Centipede should be your number one choice right now when it goes on the wish list. That is his newest weapon for healing. But for now, Prime Number is the other best weapon. It's very similar to Fairy Tail, just a much longer casting animation, which kind of sucks. He does also have Core Defender, sorry. Core Defender actually increases magic defense, so it's similar to Cloud's Sanctuary Sword. So you definitely want to put this on your list. I will put those two on my list as the first two things for Matt. Now, if you want to build him more physical or have a really good physical output for damage, Killer Hornet is a must-have for that because that's P attack and physical ability boost, and then also does P attack boost and physical attack boost for him. Not necessity for him specifically, especially if you build him as a healer and a buffer, but it's great for offhand for other units for our abilities, right? So, and then you can build him a little bit of a debuffer if you want with like Slick Beetle, which will reduce physical attack. So Matt is the jack of all trades on the first soldier group. He can do it all. He has options for magic, physical, etc., and is actually pretty damn good unit overall. I think he's the best first soldier unit in the on the team outside of Sephiroth, of course, which is technically not considered first soldier in my opinion. But anyways, so he also has this right now, the Bramble Spine, which physical attack increase for one ally, also does regen. I wouldn't recommend this right away because you have other options later on with Yuffie to do things like that, right? So, all right, Lucia. Lucia has a couple really good options. One is, of course, the Bald Eagle here, which is going to allow her to do Ice Resist down. Again, you see here there's no physical defense down with this. It's just Ice Resist, but it's got a really good physical attack and boost ice potency, so really good there. Holiday Revolver, the only actual new banner weapon for Earth. And it's magic, so that's another thing to keep in mind. So if you want to build her magic, which she's actually better as physical, just keep that in mind, right? At least for the time being, that's another option you can go with. But really, the two best options for her right now at the moment are going to be Bald Eagle and this one right here, Mad Minute. Mad Minute is one of the best still to date sub weapons in the game, so you definitely want to build her with Mad Minute because it gives you insanely high boost physical ability potency and HP, and actually does decent damage while reducing M attack as well, up to high. Okay, so one of the best weapons for her, but I would go those two as your first two choices, and then from there just hold off. Now the Thunderbird did come out recently. It is lightning damage, and you can do magic defense down on it. It's actually a pretty good choice. So this is another option you can as well. But again, remember, it is built as magic. She's mostly, still to this date, I think, more physical. All right, Sephiroth. He has a lot of options. So first options I would put on him for here, to be quite honest, are going to be the following two. Radiant Edge, because it does the magic. It does decent physical non-elemental damage attack, does physical defense down, but also does fire resist down, and also has a very, very high physical attack up and fire potency up. So this is definitely a must-have for him. On the flip side, the Edge Wings are still a really good option because it is his bread and butter for ice damage. And the Aerial Frostblade is still pretty powerful. Plus, the magic attack and ice potency is really nice, and it gives you good setup for support abilities. So those two are really good. Now, the other physical builds you can go with are going to be Dark Heavens. Now, this is the wind version of these elements, right? And it's a very powerful weapon as well, too. So very good, and I'd say this has the best support materia outside of the Radiant Edge. But I would go those three, Radiant Edge being number one, Dark Heavens probably, or Edge Wings number two. Remember, the costumes may return in the future, making it a lot easier to get. Now, another really good one that you want to kind of look at is the right here, the Shinra Blade. It's good for magic non-elemental damage. It has nice attack bonus plus boost ability bonus, and it has magic attack and also water boost here. So Shinra Blade is a really good one, but those three should stand out more than anything else for Sephiroth. Okay, and then lastly we have Yuffie. a lot of good options. She is insanely powerful. So Arctic Star is really, really good for beginning players because it boosts her attack, and another option for your ally. Also has the buff debuff extension, making it last longer. So this is a must-have for new players. I would put in the Diner Tray as well too, because it is the highest wind damage dealing move or weapon right now. Even if you don't have the costume, it's still absolutely worth having. And then the three options here, which is the Boomerang, which reduces fire resist, but again, if you have Sephiroth, you should still be okay if you're going Radiant Edge. You have the Pinwheel, which will reduce ice resist. Again, if you have Bald Eagle, not necessary. Or if you have right here, Seaside Collar, which will give you the Thunder resist. She has all three, so you can't go wrong if you want to build her as a pure debuffer and have those on there as well too. So those are very good options for you to go with. But the first two I would focus on is the Diner Tray and the Arctic Star. And then if you decide to go Diner Tray, this is not a bad sub-weapon to have, the Magic Shuriken, because it does boost attack and has boost wind potency, but you're better off just sticking to these two for her. So there you guys go. That is the full list of the wish list for all new players. Hope this video was insightful. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.